Now, welcome back to my channel. We're live here on this incredible day in the news of Michael Gaine. I never thought we'd actually be here, but we are. And a man has been charged in relation to the um, murder of Michael Gaine, which is incredible, actually. He's been charged and is due before the court in connection with the disappearance and homicide of Kenmare farmer Michael Gaine. Michael was first reported missing from his home near Kenmare on Friday, the 21st of March, 2025. I mean, we've spoken about that many times. Body tissue confirmed to be his was found after slurry was spread on Mr. Gaine's land 7 weeks later. A man in his 50s who was arrested as part of the investigation yesterday morning has been charged, and he's due before a sitting of Tralee District Court this afternoon. It's massive breaking news in relation to this Michael Gaine case. It's only breaking now. I'm really surprised, because I thought this was going to go on for years, just the way it had been panning out. And I think it's great news that someone hopefully will be brought to justice. As you know, Michael was a farmer. He had gone to the local shop to buy phone credit and was on his way back to the farm, and then he just vanished. But new evidence has clearly come to the fray. It's come to the fore, and I don't know what the new evidence is, but they clearly have something that they were able to rearrest a man who they had arrested before Christmas, and they were able to arrest him yesterday morning. Now, I would say in relation to that, armed police turned up to arrest Michael Kelly yesterday morning, and um, they turned up like they were soldiers. I mean, it did look a little bit strange. Like, what kind of person? What were they expecting? What were they expecting? I know I can understand detectives turning up with a revolver or some sort of gun, but it did seem like they were dressed like in army, like an army soldiers, and some of them were, and they had a big unit with them. So, um, I don't know who this man is or what background he has. It's all very suspicious, to be honest with you. But I'm sure as a court case is going to progress, we will find out more. And I suppose we'll see what happens. I mean, you never know what's going to happen. Um, but it's huge news, because Gardaí yesterday morning arrested a 54-year-old man as part of the investigation into the disappearance of Michael Gaine. And he was reported missing by his brother-in-law, Sean O'Regan. That was last year, March 21st. And a large search operation was conducted at his farm at Carrigeast, some 8 kilometres from Kenmare town. And no trace was found of the missing sheep farmer. And on April 29th, Gardaí upgraded their inquiry from that of a missing person to a murder investigation. And just in the last hour, a man has been arrested in connection with the murder of Michael Gaine, and he has been charged, and he's going to court as well today. So, huge news. I mean, how many times were we talking about this case over the last year? A lot of people subscribing from all parts of the world. They were, watching in Japan, in South Korea, in France and Germany, in all parts of the world, and most people watching in America, and particularly a lot of people from Maine had got in touch as well. But it's huge news today that a man is going to appear in court charged with the murder of Michael Gaine. So new evidence must have come. They must have something. I don't know. I'm trying to think what that could have been. But I know a lot of tests were sent away, and a lot of people were sending stuff off to labs last year. So maybe testing had been done on different things. It could also be down to alibis too. CCTV, a lot of CCTV was collected. And sometimes when you're brought in for questioning initially, you give a statement and you say, I was here, I was 100% here at this particular time, and then possibly CCTV or ring door footage or someone's car who has a camera on their car shows you at another location when you also read a statement and wrote a statement saying you were here. I think that's where you can be also caught out as well. And it's possible that could be the reason. But we will find out. I think out of respect to the whole process, I think after this, I'll probably not report on it until the court case, until we get an answer in the court case itself, because I just think it's a sensible thing to do. I don't think it's wise to be, going down the speculation route about everything. So I think it's best to wait till the court case is over. But obviously, we will we will we will keep you posted here on Beyond the Vanishing. Now, Joshi Zakaria, hi, how are you? Hope everything is good. Am I actually able to reply to people's messages here? I haven't even done a live before. Probably can I? That's a share. I don't know why I can't reply to you. Maybe I haven't set that up. Sorry, Joshi Zakaria. But look, let us know what you think in the comments. Obviously, it's going to court, so I would suggest, hi Fanola Omurku, I would suggest maybe just be careful what you write, because it's obviously it's going to court now, and this is a huge moment in the Michael Gaine investigation, and it's important none of us jeopardize that, because obviously the judge will then say, there'll be restrictions around the reporting probably of the case itself, and I think it's just sensible to be aware of that. But massive news today. The last hour, a man has been charged with the disappearance and the homicide of Michael Gaine, who went missing early last year. And the poor man, yes, say nothing. Yes, I know, Fanula won't be saying anything. Horrific crime. Hopefully they get the right man and results. Yes, absolutely. God, I mean, it's been going on for so long. I've made so many videos about it. It was just such a bizarre case, wasn't it? But I thought when they rearrested somebody yesterday morning, I thought they have to have some sort of evidence there. So let's see how that all pans out. But I believe the person they arrested is going straight to court and will be in front of a judge this afternoon. So that is huge. So just looking out the window here, and it's the 25th of February. Just over a year since the disappearance of Michael Gaine, because it was in March time he disappeared. And when you think back to the time he got to the farm and then just vanished, and there was no trace of him, absolutely no trace. I think there was no cadaver dog at the beginning. I think they'll have to learn from that for any kind of cases like this in the future. Those cadaver dogs, every force, rural or big city, wherever it is, you need to have one or two of those dogs, because they are so important. Yeah, he was acid rich as well. Yeah, I mean, apparently in the newspaper today, 1.68 million in assets he had, probably land. It's mostly land, I'd say, but a lot of things like when you have someone living on your land, it can get into a dispute, get into rows over things, wanting them to leave and they won't leave, and you don't know what the reason. But the reality is, Mr. Gaine lost his life, and that was no way to end your life, and it wasn't right. And we're all here for justice. I think many of the people, I mean, one of the reasons I do the videos is just to hope that we'll get justice and find out where these people have vanished. There's another case as well of that American woman that's going on too, which I will be reporting on. And an Irish man from a leafy suburb in Dublin was living in Budapest, and he had met that woman out in a bar, and ultimately they got intimate. Something went wrong, and then he got a suitcase, brought her down to Balaton-Füred in Hungary, 3 hours away from Budapest, and buried her in a secluded part of the forest there. That case is in a pre-trial situation at the moment. A lot of Irish journalists were over there. The photographs were taken of the man who's suspected of that crime. But you're not. But under Hungarian law, we're not allowed to show those photographs, so we can't do that at the moment. But look, a lot of people are saying in the comments, "Rest in peace, Michael. Hope the family get closure." Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Hopefully, you get closure. I mean, it's you guys have been very supportive. The people watching the channel, a lot of you have come on here over the last year. I mean, I'd been running the channel even before Michael Gaine went missing, but I thought that the American lady Nancy Guthrie in America. I mean, she's just vanished, and this channel is called Beyond the Vanishing, and that's why I did some videos on her. Even though it's not local crime, it's still somebody who's vanished. It's a grandmother, a mother, and it's terrible that things like that happen in this world. But I think it's important to have channels like this just to give exposure. And people say, I'm not doing it for heart. I make very little from the channel. And people always say, how much do you make? Very little, tiny amount. I mean, it's just a bit of paid promotion in the ads that come up in the thing. It's just part of the thing. But some months go by and I don't make anything. So don't think I'm ever making money from the whole thing. I'm just doing it out of being helpful to people, because I'm sure if it ever happened to me and you lost someone or they vanished, you want to find them. You'd want every bit of help. And if that's what this channel can do, then it's a good thing. Yeah, I hope family get closure. Janice is Michael's wife, of course, and you hope that yeah. Josh, is it Joshy Zakaria? Is that right, Joshy Zakaria? Well, it's good to see you back. And Fanula, you think Nancy is deceased? Do you? Possibly, could very well be. They were trying to trace her pacemaker, but weren't able to find her through Bluetooth settings. Again, it's incredible. As far as I'm aware, I asked Gemini, asked Grok, were there any cadaver dogs used in the early parts of the search for Nancy Guthrie, for Michael Gaine? And guess what? No. Those dogs are incredible. And every police force in the world should have one or two of those dogs, at least two, in case something happens to one of them. But they should definitely be there, because if someone initially, when Michael Gaine went missing, I thought it was possibly he had taken his own life. God forbid. I thought that that's what it was, or he had just had enough and he'd gone off, disappeared. You just don't think. I just didn't think it was homicide at that stage. And on the same day he went missing, a haul of about 20,000, 25,000 euro worth of cannabis was seized in the Kenmare area. And Gardaí did investigate that, but realised at an early stage that it had nothing whatsoever to do with the Michael Gaine case. But I thought, when I'd heard it at that stage, I thought, there might be a connection here. But they did rule that out. It did actually happen. There was cannabis found and somebody arrested, but it hadn't anything to do with the disappearance of Michael Gaine. Yeah, Emily loves dogs. Hi, Emily loves dogs. Yeah, that's good. You'll love those cadaver dogs then, Emily. Fadula says, do hope I'm wrong. Yeah, you could be wrong about Nancy Guthrie. She could be held somewhere against her will, but at this stage, she was frail, I think, and she had a pacemaker and was on a lot of medication. So could somebody at that age, without the medication and proper care of the pacemaker itself, would they survive? No, I think you're right. Something might have happened to her early on. But if you're just joining us, some huge news in the Michael Gaine, disappearance. And the news is that a man has been charged over the death of Kenmare farmer Michael Gaine. The man, aged in his 50s, was detained by Gardaí yesterday morning and was held at a Garda station in Castle Island, some 22 kilometres from Tralee, where the suspect will appear. Michael, also known as Mike Gaine, was first reported missing 21st of March 2025. A man aged in his 50s who was arrested as part of this investigation will appear before a sitting of Tralee District Court this afternoon, charged in connection with this investigation. Gardaí had suspected that he was killed from early in the investigation and had carried out extensive searches. Those searches which also involved members of the defence forces and voluntary groups in the area, proved fruitless. But the body parts were found when the slurry was being spread across a field. One of the machines was clogged and they had to figure out what was going on, and then they realized body parts were clogging the machine, and that's where we are. So if you're watching, let us know where you're watching from, and let us know what you think. Are you happy with the news that somebody has been arrested eventually? Because it was going on for over a year, or just under a year now, I think, is it? Yeah. And it's been a long time coming, and we were all hoping that there'd be some good news in relation to the outcome of Michael Gaine. Yeah, so it's dreadful, watching from County. Oh, very good, Lisa, is it? Watching from County Wexford. Yeah, hard to believe it's been a year. Where has the time gone, Lisa? It's just flying along. The FBI here. That's a great name for an account. Oh, is it really the FBI? Are you Kash Patel there? Are you? You're watching from Hong Kong. That is very good news. Yeah, a lot of people watching all over the world. That's the thing about YouTube. I've had people in Japan, in South Korea, in Hong Kong, obviously, in Taiwan, in France, in Switzerland, Slovakia. We've had people in Germany, Norway, Denmark, and it's great to have everyone along. And it's called Beyond the Vanishing, the channel, and it's my way of sort of helping find people who have vanished, and there's been a lot of them. I'll be doing a video very soon on the disappearance of Mrs. Ursu. You might have heard about her. She went to Bray Pier. She went down to Bray many years ago and just vanished. Now, did she go into the water on her own? That's a possibility. Or was she kidnapped and taken away and, faced a homicide? It's very possible, but I will be doing a video on that very soon as well. Prayers to the Gaine family. Absolutely, prayers. Oh my goodness. It's hard to believe after all of a year, after the year. So here's actually a bit of more news coming in here now. More news is coming in relation to Michael Gaine now. So some of this is on X, and some of it is on the mainstream media. So obviously they're not mentioning. Are they mentioning the person who has been charged? Okay, so this is Dublin Live. They have mentioned it because a lot of other news outlets haven't mentioned it. So Michael Kelly, the American soldier, has been charged in connection with Garda probe into the death of Kerry farmer Michael Gaine. He is to appear in court in Tralee in around, well, when was this written? Hang on. So he's in half an hour time. He will appear in court, and there's a photograph of him on the front page. And it looks like he was arrested very early yesterday morning because he looks like he was half asleep there. But the development comes almost 24 hours after former US soldier Mr. Kelly was arrested on suspicion of the murder of 56-year-old Michael Gaine. Kelly's repeatedly denied any involvement in the death of Mr. Gaine. So it's clear they must have come to new evidence. And as I said before, when you go into a police station, well, this hasn't happened to me now, I haven't been arrested for anything, but I would imagine when you go in and you're being questioned, you fill out a statement and they get you to sign that statement. They say you're 100% sure you were here at this particular time, and you have a solicitor there with you telling you, yeah, you can sign that, and you're 100% there. And then 6 months later, they see Johnny there on CCTV or door ring footage at another location at the same time you said you were at this location, and you also signed your statement. And then they come in with the statement and say, see, you're actually at 3:45. You said you were at, you said you were at Burdock's Chip Chop there in Rathmines at 3:45. That's right. You said that in your statement. You're still standing by that. And he goes, yeah, still there. Okay, yeah. So this footage here that we have from a ring bell footage, and we've clarified it with US authorities who have been able to tell us that it's exactly the same time, 3:45. You're 4 kilometers away over here in this car park outside this pub, and you signed a statement, said you were here at Burdock's 3:45, and at 3:45 you're clearly actually outside that car park at that pub. So can you explain that? And this is where they catch you out. So it's so important, to be honest. You have to be honest, because if you're not honest and you're telling fibs, and you're going to get caught out eventually. I don't know if this is the case, that's what happened, but um, yeah, a couple of people in the comments just saying, only Mr. Kelly would know about using the slurry machine. So, I mean, a lot of people would know. I mean, there were other people coming onto the farm that would know how to use a slurry machine. It wouldn't be just him, but he was there for 3 years approximately, and had been living in the derelict cottage, seemed to have some sort of generator to create some heat and turn on the coffee machine and the kettle and all that sort of stuff. So I imagine, he was living off the land, as they say. But listen, only time. Yeah, he fixed machinery. Oh, look, I mean, they'll in the court case, it'll have to come out. How Mr. Gaine. They'll have to come out with a book of evidence how they think he was killed and how he thinks he was disposed of. But if anyone did come onto the farm, like he was last seen around 10 a.m. and he arrived at the farm, his Jeep was outside, his phone and wallet were in the Jeep, and that was the end of it. So, did he meet someone at the farm? Did he go onto the farm and then get done in that way? And then it was a whole 24 hours later that the Gardaí turned up looking for him. So whoever did it had 24 hours in which to cover up the crime. So they're going to have to prove, how he was killed, when he was killed. They may have a lot of circumstantial evidence, but we'll have to see. It'll be a book of evidence. Anyway, I better go here. I have to go to work, and I have to make a few quid. But in the meantime, keep watching the channel. If we get any updates, I suppose out of respect to Michael Gaine in the court case, it's probably best not to report on it now after this, and we'll just leave it here. And in the meantime, I would imagine the best thing to do would be to just report maybe when the court case is done, and we'll see what happens. But anyway, the news today, somebody has been arrested for the disappearance and homicide of Michael Gaine a year after he went missing. Okay, thanks for watching Beyond the Vanishing. If you're new to Aisling Joyce in Waterford, thanks Aisling. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already done it. And I think this video will be saved into my video. The last time I did a live one, I went to hit the thing to save it and it never saved it. I contacted YouTube and they were telling me that something I did, but I think I did everything right. So I don't know if this will even save. So fingers crossed, and we'll see what happens. Michael Gaine's probably felt he was thinking dark thoughts. Yeah, I know. Oh, look. Well, anyway, look, good luck to the Gardaí and the detectives in this one. They're going to need all their help. And may the right person who did it be brought to justice. Thanks very much. See you later.